I've been covering NASCAR for almost 2 decades, and there's no driver who's had more success during that time than seven-time champ Jimmie Johnson, who's here with me now for One Up, One Down. Jimmie, I am so happy to have some time to talk to you. I do think this is the first time, though, I've ever interviewed you. Are you in the back of your car right now?
I am. I'm in the back of my Tahoe. My kids are in the barn working with their animals, making sure they're fed and taken care of. And, we can multitask. We can do anything these days. And here we are on the Zoom call.
That's right. What is this like for you and your family? Like, how are you guys doing during this time?
It's weird. I mean, I think like everyone out there, we've found different ways to find our new normal and to adjust. I think we were parents that wanted to reduce screen time and even wanted to reduce our own screen time. And that's like multiplied by 20. So I didn't even know Zoom existed. And now it's on my phone and I'm in the back seat of my Tahoe doing an interview. So, we're just managing and trying to find ways to adapt. We have definitely fallen into a rhythm and have found the silver lining and in a variety of different ways within our household and spending some great quality time together.
So what's harder, winning a championship or third grade math?
Math is something I'm fine with, although it has changed, and I've learned the new Singapore math routine, so I'm fine there. It's reading or writing, I should say, that's really my weak point.
The grammar with my children, they're like preposition, adverb, pronoun. I'm like, I don't even know.
Yeah, I question the people that gave me my GED based on my parenting and trying to be an educator here these last 5 or 6 weeks.
I saw that you had Lydia out on the go-kart track.
I have. As things kind of loosen up and open up and we're able to be outside and go do things legally, of course, I was able to go to the go-kart track and just had the track rented for ourselves and get out and just spend some time. I was able to run some laps and finally not make laps within an iRacing game and go do the real thing. So that was really nice to feel G-forces and smell some gasoline burning. And then, of course, take Lydia with me. Evie's interested in it. She's a little more hit and miss with her opportunities to go. But Lydia, if I'm going to go to the go-kart track, she's coming with.
Have you ever been one to play video games? You just don't seem like the type of guy that would be sitting inside of a house playing video games. And now you're on these iRacing rigs and doing this on Sundays.
I really haven't. I mean, I think the last game that I spent any time playing was the Daytona USA game when I was a teenager. So, I mean, it's been 30 plus years since I've really played a game, and I think it has shown with my performance in the iRacing world.
Yeah, I was like Super Mario Brothers. That was like my babysitter when I was 8th grade. My mom would just sit me there and Super Mario Brothers, find all the cheat codes.
That first Nintendo when it came out was total magic. Absolutely. I do remember that and played a lot of that.
When is the last time that you have been out of a stock car, for this extended period of time?
I was thinking about that earlier today, and I guess the off season is similar in length, but this time of the year when the weather's nice and I feel like I should be at the track, I've never. I mean, this is unprecedented territory for me in that racing season window. And to be locked at home, like I haven't spent 7 weeks or 6 weeks in my house in Charlotte ever. Like that's never happened. So I may not have been at the track, but we like to travel and be on the run. So it's been new to be home.
How many times? I hope that you're just like all of us, right? That you're going to the fridge every 10 minutes and
it's awful.
Starts a little bit earlier than it ever did.
In season, never afternoon cocktails, right? There's always a recovery and the training and getting ready. Yes. And when there was no end in sight, it was like, well, I guess it's 5 somewhere. Why not? It's been a stressful day of parenting and worrying about business and all the other stuff in life. And now that there looks to be a start date, I've had a clean week so far. So I'm proud of that. And I'm going to at least try to get through, early afternoon that way.
How do you think this time has sort of given you listen, we've done this NASCAR circuit for so many years, and it is so intense. Do you feel like maybe this has given you sort of some energy to kind of get that final push?
No, for me, I mean, we were running so good, and right now we're sitting 5th in points. I feel like we had a look at a win or two this year and have been running really well. I didn't want that momentum to stop. Cliff Daniels has worked so hard to get this team where it is. Hendrick Motorsports has been working so hard. Chevrolet through the offseason with this new car, it's really provided a lot of speed for us. I felt like we were just hitting our stride. So I've had to look for the silver lining, in this kind of pause for myself and my team. But of course, I'm worried about all those that have had the virus and have been affected by it, if it was directly or indirectly. And as I start to worry about my little bubble, I quickly am reminded by the statistics and of course, worry about those that have been directly affected.
Yeah, certainly. All of our thoughts and prayers for all of those folks on the front line. It's been interesting how the heroes,
Without a doubt.
we were so caught up in sports figures and actors and all of these different types of people. And now the real heroes have kind of come to the forefront, whether it be those medical professionals or the third grade teachers.
Yeah, without a doubt. It's such a good point. Like the people on the front line, there's a gentleman that we did something with Mike Tirico with that unfortunately has the virus. He was obviously clean and on the front line working and doing all that he could to help others. And then he's been infected. We've been staying in contact with him, and it seems like he's handling it well. So he's just one of many that are out there putting their family at risk and themselves at risk to try to help others.
Yeah, certainly. Maybe when he gets better and heals from this virus, we'll get him out to the racetrack when we get back to
We will,
racing.
for sure.
The question that most people are going to ask you, Jimmie, when we get back is if this has given you a new push to maybe come back at some time in the 2021 season. I know that, listen, November, December is a very long time away, and so much is going to happen between now and then. But what are some of the things that would even make you consider doing that?
Yeah, I'd be real hard pressed to look at another full-time season. I think I've been on the record saying I still want to race. It's just a 10 to 15 race schedule. So we'll see how this year develops. There's a really good chance we get in all the races. It might not be at all the tracks that we would expect to race at, and certainly in a different situation without fans. But I'll just keep a close eye on it as the year moves on. But in my heart, I've looked to this being my last full-time year and the chaos that comes with a full-time year, and I don't think a lot's really changed there.
Did you see your family waving the flag at Daytona when you went underneath the flag stand? Could you see them up there?
I did on the pace laps. When the green flew for the start of the race, I was kind of in the zone and didn't see them. I guess they hung out for a few laps as well, but I was so occupied racing.
So happy. It was so awesome.
That's awesome. She's still talking about it. It was great.
The video is incredible. I always say that you don't realize how fast you guys go on the track until you're up in that vantage point, which is something that all of us that are down in the garage every weekend never really get an experience to see. So that must have been something really cool for her.
Really cool for her. I think it took her breath, and she still talks about it today. It was pretty awesome.
That's awesome. I do want to ask you, I know that you said one of your bucket list things is to test an Indy car. What else is on Jimmie Johnson's bucket list, whether it be professional or personal bucket list?
Yeah, professionally, I mean, there are races and cars that I've always wanted to experience, and I'm not sure if I can pull it off, but I would love to try to race an Indy car at some point. I've dabbled in sports car racing, and I have not had a chance to do the 24 Hours of Le Mans yet. That's really high on the bucket list. I feel like IndyCar and some of these elite sports car opportunities, I have a smaller window of opportunity to pull off, so they're kind of more on the forefront of my mind. But a few years from now, when things calm down, I plan on getting dirty. I want to go get back in an off-road truck and go bounce around in the deserts, bounce around on some short tracks. Yeah, I mean, those are my roots. And honestly, there's nothing more dynamic than driving an off-road truck. I mean, it's almost three-dimensional, and the rest of racing is two-dimensional because you're jumping. So, I'm not leaving racing. I'm not done racing like some other drivers have done. I'm just done with full-time NASCAR.
Our joints are not as young as they used to be, Jimmie. And when you're bouncing around in those cars out there and those trucks off-road, we don't recover as quickly as we did in our 20s.
That's fair. It's easy to say that sitting in the back seat of my Tahoe right now.
What do you think about old man Kenseth coming back? You're not going to be the only older guy on the racetrack once we start getting racing again.
Yeah, as the news started to break, I was really excited to hear he's coming back. At the same time, knowing that Ryan Newman's been cleared, we're kind of some of the older guys, left on the scene. And I feel like Matt has something to prove. He certainly didn't leave on his own terms, and he's going to get into a really strong car and be fast. So I'm excited for him. And then obviously with Ryan, like who would have thought? I mean, it's just insane to think that he's going to be back. And the fact that he walked out of that hospital like we all saw months ago. Yeah,
it's incredible. We've had him on the show this week, and absolutely a miracle for him to get back into that race car and to be where he is right now. So it was a wild night for sure. I asked you about your bucket list stuff. So Ironman, Personal, because I know I've been pushing you for a while to try to get this done, right?
Personally, yeah, absolutely. I have plenty of fitness related goals. It's funny when you get out of triathlon shape, you realize how daunting of a task it is. So I'm like, well, maybe more of a bike event or marathon. But to look at all three, I'm sure once I really get back into the swing of things, I'll want to do it. But I love athletics and certainly I've always wanted to run the New York City Marathon, the Chicago Marathon. There's some really cool endurance mountain bike events that are more of an adventure than they are really a race, and I want to try to complete some of those, and then maybe I can be persuaded into Kona or something.
There you go. Well, if it doesn't happen this year for some reason, maybe in 2021 we could be on the course together at Kona.
That'd be awesome.
I've actually stood at the start of one of your sprint triathlons, and I've heard people talking about like, all I want to do is beat Jimmie Johnson. Like, all I want to do is beat his time. Like most professional athletes, I think they get that when like the regular guy is in an event with them. Can you sense that people, when they get around you, when they're riding, they kind of turn it up just a little bit?
Oh, totally. What's even better and adds to that is on the run portion close to home when I'm passing people, they'll literally break down like, oh man, I have a bet with my buddy that I was going to beat you and I can't let you beat me. And I'm like, sorry, pal, I'm not going on.
Yeah, I can't. It's been a year since Boston, right? I mean, it was just a year ago they were running Boston. Are you able to train at all during this time? Because I know how much that means to you to get out for those long runs.
Yeah, thankfully we've been able to be outside and, the way shelter in place has worked in North Carolina. I've done some shorter runs. I've been on my bicycle a little bit pedaling. I have a small home gym at my house, and I spent some of the early weeks just in there, honestly, fielding phone calls and talking to the team and business partners on top of trying to get a little workout in. So I've probably been to the fridge too many trips to show the fitness boost that I feel like I've gained during this off time. Now it's time to get my diet reeled in, so I get back to fighting weight.
I rode 56 miles on my Peloton last week.
Oh, that is dedication.
Come on. I know you've put in time on your trainer. I know.
In one ride?
Yeah.
One ride. Yeah, that's a long time to sit still. Trainer, I can't say I've been north of 2 hours. It's probably an hour and a half. But I did get out yesterday and got a 2.5 hour road ride in, which was really nice.
Thank you so much, Jimmie. I really appreciate you taking a few minutes.
Thank you, Shannon.
Stay safe. We'll see you very soon, I guess.
Yeah, I hope so. Appreciate it.
For the best access, perspective, and personalities in all of sports, follow us at Fox Sports on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
For more great NASCAR on Fox content, subscribe to our channel. It's somewhere right around here.